Here, just wait a little bit more. And we are on YouTube. So, hello guys, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Brenner. Good afternoon, Mateus. Good afternoon, people who follow us on YouTube. We are here for another English immersion as every single Friday, 2 p.m. with me as a host. Today is holiday here in Brazil, but I think that every person who is here is really focused on his or her English learning. Um, just to let you know a little bit about how Talk and Talk works, Talk and Talk is a platform of languages where you can practice and you can learn different languages, like such as English that we are doing right now, French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Mandarin, and others. Something so important about the platform is that we are not here for learning grammar part of the language, so it's not a regular English class. I am here just for leading the conversation. I am not an English teacher. I work in a different area, and I just bring some subject to talk about, and we just try to create a real environment where we can share our ideas, our acknowledge, and that's the I think that the main point of Talk and Talk. Another thing that is important as well that we try to create a safe environment where we don't feel afraid about making mistakes, and we don't correct each other, so we just use the English knowledge that we already have in our minds. And that's it. A brief explanation about Talk and Talk. We normally start with a self presentation. In my personal opinion, it's crucial because we let our brains know that we are switching to another language, and so we start always with that. Today, Brenner is his first time with me. So, Brenner, please go ahead. Could you please introduce yourself to us?
Yeah, of course. Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, YouTube. I'm Brenna. I am 27. I'm from Rio, the capital of the state, Rio de Janeiro, here in Brazil. I'm here on Talk Talk since June this year. Recently, I became a host, just like, sorry, I don't know your name. I'm sorry. Um, I work as a software developer since 2019. There are a few years there already. I live alone. I don't have children or pets, just plants. And in my free time, I enjoy sports in general, but my favorite is football. Uh, and that's it.
A pleasure to meet you, Brenner, and I'm happy you became host here in Talk and Talk. And welcome to my English immersion. And so let's continue with Mateus. Please introduce yourself to us.
Yes, of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Matheus. I'm 30 years old. I'm living in Rio de Janeiro too, in a small city in Itaguaí, next to the Angra dos Reis. I'm staying Talk Talk. There are 1 year. There are 1 year. 1 year, I think. I like learning English because from my area, I'm a data analyst. I work in a company in the commercial area. And for me, learning English is very important because I use in my days for learning the different tools about my area. I like it, talk to many people in the LinkedIn about my area in English, read the documents in English about my area, and for me, it's very important to use English in my days. My free time, I like go to the shop mall. I like read different books, technical books about my area. It's important for me and talk the many people about my area. I'm very activity in LinkedIn, and for me, I like posts about my area, about my career, about the any tools, these different tools in data area. And for me, I like share the different opinions about my audience. For me, it's very good. That's it.
Thank you so much, Mateos, and it's really good that you're really active on your LinkedIn account. Finally, me, guys. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Christian Jimenez. I am from Bolivia. However, I currently live here in Brazil. I moved here 2 years ago because of my job. So, I work as a full stack software developer, and I have been working in that area for almost 12 years. So, that's why I'm living here in Brazil. I was living in Sao Paulo, but I moved to Curitiba. I'm 36 years old. I'm married, and I joined Talk and Talk in 2022, I think. And I became host 2 months ago in English. I started with English and Spanish because Spanish is my mother tongue. But 1 month ago, I became a French host as well. So I started learning French here in the platform the last year, and finally I became host here. And I think that that's it a little bit about me, guys. So let's move on to our today's subject. As already said, we're going to talk about managing and working under pressure. I brought this subject to the table because these last 3 weeks for me were kind of stressful. I had to finish some specific module in the project that I work in, and it's been so difficult. So I would like to know more from you about your opinions, about your experiences as well. So let's move on and let's start with the question number one. I'm gonna start with you, Brenner, please. How do you typically respond when faced with high pressure situation at work?
Um, I believe that the key to handle uh, stressful and high pressure situations are both um, prioritization and organization. To finish a task that the deadline is very close, you need to organize. You need to prioritize what is really important, and you need to deliver. So when you do both things, prioritization and um, organization, it's easier to handle the situation. So I think these two words are the key to handle this situation.
I completely agree with that organization, and I would add analysis as well because at the beginning you can think that everything is under control, but when you start working on a specific task, you discover that you missed something important, and it can change the time that you maybe you put for a specific task. So I think with the organization, analysis, prioritize tasks, it's the key for maybe not facing pressure in a specific work that you have to finish. Okay, so thank you so much, Brenner. And now, Mateus, what do you think about it?
It's an interesting question. In my last job, I passed the situation, the very pressure, and normally I'm keep calm in this case. I think it's important for you organize your ideas, your work. And during my career, I mean, depreciate this situation, the pressure, and for me, in some moments, I like because how can I say? I don't know in English. Eu cresci profissionalmente, né, passando por algum desses momentos em some companies, but in the other companies, for me, it's not so good because the structure, the company, it's not good in the, and for me, it's a complicated because some people in the companies don't have how can I say one organizing your structure and your uh, positions for the people in the investments in the in your structure. And for me, it's I passed my last job in the on a big company, and for me, it's I pass for the when a situation depression, but I keep calm because it's not the problem. The principal, the first problem in these companies, it's structural the companies because it's very I don't know in English. It's not organized in your process, and for me, it's it's complicated because the people, the some companies like very uh, muito quer que você seja muito very muito ágil, né? But don't have for you on a structure for your work and in a data it's many in the technology it's normal in in some companies the structure the procedure is not so good, but in my case I may stay calm. I like talk the people about the situation and organize my idea my works. I think it's important in in these moments.
Thank you so much, Mateus, and I completely agree with that part. Sometimes we pay the bills of the misorganization, I would say, of the company or another person that is our superior who didn't plan well some specific work, and the pressure goes under our back. So thank you so much, Mateus. Let's move on to the question number two. Can you describe a time when you had to meet a tight deadline? How do you handle the pressure? So I'm gonna start with that answering that question, guys. So the last 3 weeks, in these last 3 weeks, I had to finish a module on the software that I work in. I had to create an integration with the fiscal part of Bolivia, uh, and we had a lot of uh, troubles integrating with the fiscal service on Bolivia because the documentation was really poor. When we emailed them, we got an email back like 2 or 3 days later. So the communication was kind of awful. So we were about how can I say it? I had to finish this week, but we were about applying the plan B that was continuing with the other integration that we were using with a third party company, but we didn't want to do that because we had to sign a new contract and we will lose a lot of money with that contract. So this last week, thankfully, we were able to finish the test and the yeah the test that the fiscal service had to do with our software, and we passed it. But I'm sure that I got so that time was so stressful to me. I am currently so tired about that work. I would like to be resting right now, but I am so focused with Talk and Talk as well, and so engaged with the platform. So that's why I'm here. That was the last time that I had to face pressure at my work. And that's it, guys. So I wanted to know from you, Matheus, when were uh, do you have any experience like that where you have to handle pressure at work?
Yes, in my job today, I went to the situation in the companies where I work today. The company, it's well organization in the terms of these processes, and it was easier for me to deal with the pressure as I had the resources to do so. And for me, for organization, my work, my ideas, the deadline in my company today, I my communication with the my coordinator, it's very good. And for me, for my organization, my deadline, it's more easy for me because the structure, it's not a big companies in today, but it's very organized. Your structure, it's organization. For me, easy for my work when I start when a project is in the business intelligence. But it's depend the business, depends the company. It's not many normal in the organization because in a big companies this processes is the it's complicated. But today for me it's very easy because I have a good deadline for work for desenvolve these projects. I have a resource for execute my job, access these databases, any tools for create insights for the business. And for me today, it's good for start new projects or talk the any directors about my about the project for me. And for me, it's very good.
Okay, so I understood that nowadays you don't have to face pressure at your work because you have a good communication and your current company is so really good organized as well.
Yes,
S-
yes, yes. For me,
Okay.
but in the others companies, it's not so good because it's the structure, the procediment, it's not so good. And do you work in the technology area? It's a complicated in some projects, but today for me it's very it's not all the easy all the projects, but the communication explain the problems. It's more easy for me today, but in the last month, the last company, it's more complicated.
Okay. Thank you so much, Matthias. And what about you, Brenner? Do you have any experience where you had to face pressure at work or with a
Yeah,
specific deadline?
yeah. I am passing through a situation like that right now. Uh, I had yesterday my my PM product manage gave me a task to deliver Monday. So I am calm because this tight deadline is not usual in my current job. So I am committed to the result, and I am planning already my Monday. I'm going to wake up early. I have already the solution in my mind. So seeing uh, what I need to do and uh, what the problem actually is easier to work on it. So it won't be a problem to solve it, you know.
I can feel you. I think that when you planify well how you are gonna work in a specific task, even if you design or if you draw it in a paper or in a in a surface, it will be easier because all of your idea will be there and you just will have to translate it in code. So I don't do that often, but I think that it's so useful. But yeah, I think that that well, that pressure in our job sometimes is kind of it's becoming kind of normal. So thank you so much, Brenner, for bringing up your insight, your experiences, and Mateos as well. So guys, let's move on to the question number three. Mateos, what techniques or strategies do you use to stay calm and focused when under when under stress? What do you think about it, Mateus?
Yes, in my situation, I reflect this what's the problem in the past these moments for the stay calm for talk to other people about the problem. And for me, I like in these moments reflect this problem. What's the problem? What's the how I can resolve this problem? And after that, I talk to other people. I organization my ideas, my minds about this problem and how I can resolve this problem. I for me it's the first for resolve in this problem because in some moments complicated depends the the people, your coordinator, your company, but I start with this because for me it's important because the people like the other people resolve one problem in the minutes, but the it's complicated the situation because the people I like to see the problem, understand the problem, what's the I don't know in English origin do problema, and for me I like for after that talk to other people this situation, and it's for me it's my strategy, but uh, depend the situation, depend the people that you talk. But for me, it's helping me in all the projects, my life.
Thank you so much, Mateos. So, in my personal case, I think that for me it's kind of difficult because I am the type of person who gets stressed easily. Even more now in my current job because I turned tech lead of the project at the beginning of this year. So I have a lot of new responsibilities. I'm not just coding all of the days, or I don't have my task in my board anymore. I have to find my own tasks. And sometimes when I'm working in something specific like these last 3 weeks, because I am the tech lead, there is the PO always asking something about some information. So I got this. I cannot stay concentrated in a specific task because everybody else or other member of my team is asking for help or for some information on another project who has an integration with us. They need some information, some help, and I think that I have to learn how to handle this kind of situations. The techniques that I normally use is maybe asking. So for my mentor, I consider my brother as my mentor because he works in the same area in IT. And when I cannot handle some kind of situation, I ask him to some techniques or tips for facing that kind of problems. And as well, I try to disappear for a moment, like 5 minutes, and don't talk about anything about related to that problem or that specific thing that is getting me stressed, and I take a breath. I used to talk with my wife about a different topic for forgetting that problem. So I think that those are the techniques or strategies that I normally use. What about you, Brenner? Tell us about your techniques or strategies.
Yeah. Understanding the problem you are dealing with is a big part of the solution. When you really understand what is the problem, uh, you get it done easily. Because not easily, no, don't get me wrong, but it's easier to develop a solution. Uh, I see many times developers, they uh, they have a task and they start coding immediately. They read or they hear what they should do, and they don't stop to think and analyze what they should do or what the problem is or what um, sometimes what people say to you that the problem isn't really the problem. Sometimes you need to look deeply into what you're doing. So understanding really and deeply what the problem is a big part of the process. So when you get it done, when you get this part done, uh, coding or developing a solution is so much easier. So I try to really understand what I have to do. I have to do, and then I start organizing and etc. So yeah, this first important part is a strategy that I use, not in my job but in my life, to dealing people or in a conversation. So yeah, I think this is very important.
I completely agree with you, Brenner. In fact, every time that I have a task that seems kind of big or difficult, first I create a subtask for just analyzing and know really what I need to do or what I need to move, what I need to change. And I think that you have to maybe invest more time on analyzing than in coding. That is specifically in our area, and that's the way that every person, I would say every developer should perform every single task. So thank you so much, Brennan. And I would like to know from you guys a question that is not here in our list. Do you think that working under pressure should be considered like a hard skill nowadays? What do you think about it, Mateus?
Depends the situation. In my case, in the others companies, I work with the coordinator, and nowadays the pressure is many normal in the days, but I learning very well with these people because it's a pressure, but it's a pressure for the people learning the process or learning the work for more easier. It's not a pressure for, how can I say, for uh, this instructor the people or of offer offender the people, not this, but I'm learning very well with the coordinator because it's there are some people don't like with the coordinator because they form the coordinator talk, but for me, I'm learning this coordinator about your mind, your process, but I pass the some moments, the others companies, and for me it's not so good. For example, my last jobs are very complicated for me, and I'm not. It's a pressure, but it's not so pressure for you learning something or for your coordinator stay with you in the moments. For me, it's more complicated, but I pass is others companies, and for me, it's helping me for my career, for my personal life, for understand, and I see in some moments with me, I'm learning more about specific topics. About, for example, I work today using Power BI, SQL, and when I pass in the some companies, I see that, whoa, I'm learning more about this specific topic. And for me, it's a good when I receive this feedback about this my job. But in the other companies, for me, it's not so good because don't have this communication about this. But the others, for me, it's helping me very well for understanding my job, learning the very well about all the topics. And for me, it's more it's good work depression these moments.
Mm. Thank you so much, Mateus. What about you, Brenner? What do you think about that? Do you think that working under pressure should be considered kind of soft skill nowadays?
um how you respond to pressure, I would say that is a good soft skill, not knowing how to work with it, but how you respond to it. For example, I work in a software that is used for the employees of our company. So at the same time, I need to develop new features or solve some bug and give some support for our employees if they struggle with something in our software. So the pressure was being created by the lack of time, because I needed to give support and develop features. So uh, it, it it was being difficult to do these two things. So what I've done, I worked in some features that reduce the support, the demand support from our employees, and then they stopped needing support, so I could work more in new features and coding, and etc. So the pressure reduced, and this was the way I responded to pressure. Like, how how can I reduce the pressure? What can I do to our team to have more time to work in our features? So the more important than knowing how to respond to pressure is knowing how to reduce pressure. I don't know if I was clear, but
Yeah, I got your point. I asked that for to you guys because I've seen a lot of job offers or your job position that has in the description being the ability of working under pressure. I'm not sure if you you as you do you as if you accepted that kind of job offer. I'm not sure. In my personal opinion, not. I prefer maybe not don't have that kind of pressure in my bags and have a better quality of life or better balanced life than maybe making a lot of money but working in with that pressure every single day. That should be kind of difficult for me. So thank you so much for your opinions. Let's move on to the question number 4. I'm gonna continue with you, Brenner. So let's read this question. How do you prioritize tasks when multiple deadlines are approaching simultaneously?
um, if everything is urgent, so nothing is urgent. I heard it sometime, and it's very true. So first things first, the most important things first. If I work in a software, I try to see the core business, the core features that the client needs. So if we have a demand and some core feature, of course, it should be prioritized. And I try to do that in a way that we have clearly what gives money to the company and what is going to be good, but it won't bring so much money, because we are in capitalism. So money is the secret. So I try to prioritize that way. I try to see what is really important, what is the core business of the product, and work on it first.
Thank you so much, Brendan. And have you always been like that? Because sometimes, not sometimes, but I remember when I was still like the developer in my project or in different project, that when the sprint started, I preferred to start with the easier task at the beginning of the sprint because I don't know why. Maybe because I was procrastinating at that time because I know that it's part of procrastination, not going to the hardest task and start with the easiest one because you don't want your mind or your brain don't want to work so hard. So I wanted to know from you, have you ever been like that you just explained it?
Yeah, there is a point of view that says start with easy tasks, so you gain some confidence to keep continuing. So yeah, it's a way to do things.
Thank you so much, Bernard. And what about you, Mateus? What do you think about it? The question number 4.
Yes, I always start with the activities that are the highest priority. I analyze the problems, understand the problems, this about the problems, talk the others involvements about these problems, and I like to talk to people to understand the priorities and then start after that. And in my area, for example, I have many contact. I work as a data area in the commercial area and marketing area, and I talk the different people. I talk with my director. I talk with YT and with my company, my coordinator, and I like understand the priority. For me, it's a good for I'm start. For example, pass. I finish one night projects in my company in the the process the project is create one BI about the uh, bonification of promoter for the promoter, and the promoter stay one programs, and I create this panel for this for the my coordinator, but I talk of the my coordinator about this project. What's the priorities for my I start? I like this talk the people for understand this. What's the my coordinator mind about these priorities? It's good. We start these priorities now. I like this. Uh, the filter antes de começar, né, ali a atividade, for understand the people, the perception of the people about these projects. For me, it's important for after that I start my activities.
Thank you so much, Mateus. So, guys, let's skip the question number 5 and continue with the question number 6. I'm gonna start with you, Brenner. So, Brenner, can you describe a situation where working under pressure actually helped you perform better? Do you have any experience like that?
Um, Let me see. At the beginning of my career, I used to procrastinate sometimes, to be honest. And having a deadline was important to get the things done, get the things that I should do done. So in the past was good to have a deadline, to have pressure and uh, make me keep moving and doing things. Uh, Nowadays, I wouldn't say that is a thing that I am looking for in my life. Like you said, I am looking for a good work-life balance. So, in the past, I performed better under pressure, but now I developed a routine. I developed. I have more experience now, so I work better when I have organization, time to develop things in a good way. So now, in the past, yes, I performed better under pressure, but now it's not necessary anymore because I have organization enough to do things. And talking about speed and accuracy, um, first I get it done, and second I improve it. So it depends on the time and the thing I should develop. Having it done is the first step, and if I have more time, I try to improve it. I try to give it a little more quality. Talking about code. So yeah, this is my opinion.
Thank you so much, brother. In my opinion, in my case, guys, I wanna still talking about my last experience. So That was a time that where I was able to apply new techniques that I was learning, like TDD, test-driven development. I was starting learning that because it's a must nowadays in IT. I think in every single interview that I just did, all of the those job position asked for TDD, so I started learning so deeply. And in this module that I was developer that I was developing, I I used I applied TDD, and I think that helped me for maybe in knowing more about the bugs that could appear when we when we release our product. So that was a good way for applying as well, for learning more in the practice, because in my personal opinion, when you practice, you learn more that than just reading a book or watching some tutorials. So that was a good experience for applying the different techniques like TDD and other design patterns that I was learning as well in the last months. So that was a good experience, and thankfully everything went well. That was my experience, guys. And Matthias, what do you think about it? The question number six. No, it's the question number six.
Yes, a personal situation in the past where I was procrastinating this one activity a lot, and when I start to work under the pressure, these moments, it's helping me a lot to get off, uh, not procrastinate more because for me in this situation it's not so good, but I help my coordinator in these companies talk with me, and when I change with me, I understand this. I had one problem, and for me, helping me in the situation for organization, my ideas, my priorities, my demands, my activities, and for me in these moments help me change my mind, my work and my activities, and for me help me when I procrastinations in my activities.
Thank you so much, guys, for your answer, for your experiences. And now let's move on. We have time for answering more questions. Let's move on to the question number seven. So let's start with you, Brenner. How do you handle unexpected changes or setbacks when you are already dealing with a heavy workload?
Um, to be honest, it's a little bit frustrating when you're working on something and uh, everything changed. So if you tell me that you don't get frustrated in a situation like that, I'm going to say that you're lying, probably. So it's a little bit frustrating, but when you are committed in your work, when you are committed to your team, and things need to change, uh, it's easier to handle this situation because you are into that situation with your team, with your company, or the problem that showed up. So being committed with your job, with your team, is makes easier to dealing with situations like that, because you understand that it's part of the life, it's part of our jobs, and working with technology things change all the time. So yeah, if you're not committed with your job, it's harder because you get more frustrated. But learning how to like your team, how to like to work with them and to work in your current job is a first step, and is a good way to handle situations like that.
I can totally feel you, Brenner, and I have a question for you. Have you ever heard that phrase of member of your team that is not in technical part, and that person says, "But you just have to do this. It seems easier, but they don't understand how things work. How can I say that? Technically, for example, you just have to move this button. It's not that difficult. Have you ever heard something like that?"
All the time. But I have a good PM, and he is a wall between the team and the client. So uh, sometimes we hear some phrases like that, but our PM is a good leader, and he tried to uh, it's not avoid us, but he tried to blind us from things like that. It's not blinded, but I think you got it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, brother. And what about you, Mateus? What do you think about the question number 7?
For me, it's complicated because today, with the work in a data area, it's a pressure every day, and for me, I'm very afraid, sincerely, because it's the change nowadays for my work I don't like, but it's I understand the moments, the people, the company, these activities, and I mean reorganize in these cases for talk the people for start these activities. But I don't like when it's a situation when the people talk with you about the change, about the deadline, the activities. Or for me, it's more easy, but nowadays it's not so normal. These people talk, conversam antes, né, sobre o problema, né? Normally it's the moment today. The people don't talk with you, and but I may understand I'm supposed to understand the people, the moments, the activities, and me organizes for start my activities. But I don't like this when I pass this this moment. For me, it's a complicated.
I'm not sure if anyone likes that kind of changes, even more when you are already facing stress and you have to finish something. So yeah, I think that it's kind of tricky to face that kind of situation. So thanks so much, Mateus and Brenner. And let's move on to, I think, that our last question for today. I'm gonna pick this one. Let me see. Okay, the eighth one seems kind of interesting. So let's go with that. I want to continue with you, Mateus. Okay. So, Mateus, how do you ensure that the quality of your work remains high when you are under tight time constraints?
For me, the organizers for me it's help me for quality about my job. I like me organize my ideas, my activities. Uh, in the past, I don't have how can I say? I didn't like a note my activities, but today I'm organized. I write some things, my ideas, my jobs, my information, and for me, when I have some problems, some change in my activities, or uh, start a new activities for me, helping me in these moments. I write these problems. I write is how I can resolve these problems, and I notes. I mean, talk to any people. the people's, the other sectors, for me, helping me for organize my activities and stay the quality in my job. For me, it's fundamental when I stay start my activities in this form. For me, helping me very well in my activities.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Mateus. I think that organization is the key. Something I wanted to say it's that sometimes we relate the word when we had to finish something quickly, we relate that task like neglecting quality. And I think that it's not like that. I think that even though we need to finish something quickly, we don't have to neglect quality because I think that it will be worse in the future if you finish something with low quality because you will have to you will have to finish or you will have to fix bugs in my case if you don't do it in the right way. So it's in my personal opinion it's better to take more time or pay more attention to details even though the tasks need to be finished quickly. That's my opinion. So, what do you think about it, Brenner?
You and Mateus said some interesting things and strategies. Mateus said that he write it down, and I do it also. I have a whiteboard on my wall, and when I am struggling with some task, I try to draw it or the solution of it. So it's a good strategy. And like you said, Christian, time quality actually is proportional to time. So if you have something with high quality, it will take time. There's no way, you know. So if you ask me to draw a bird and you give me 5 minutes, I'll give you a bird, a poor bird, probably, but I'll give you. But if you ask me to draw a bird and you give me 1 week, the result is totally different, you know? So quality is proportional to time, and I believe in that. So yeah, that's it. That's my opinion.
Thank you so much, guys, and it's been a really good conversation. We got at the finish at the ending of our today's immersion, and it is a time when we have some time for sharing our experience with in this immersion. So I wanted to start with you, Brenner. Can you share something that you maybe something that you learned today, or how was your experience in this English immersion with us?
There was a term that you used, and I wasn't familiar with that. In fact, I don't use it a lot of times, but it's a good term to use. So I learned it from you. It was a good conversation. Talking to you and to Mateus was good because sometimes I am here on Talking Talk, and I never talk about work, and having these immersions about work and about jobs in general is good because I'm here because of work. I am developing my English because it's important to technology area. So it was a very good conversation. Thank you, and thank you, Mateus.
Thank you for being here with us and hope to see you in the next immersions. Now, Mateus, can you share something that maybe about our immersion, maybe something that you learned, something you like it? Please go ahead.
As for me, I like this talk with us about this topic. It's a good topic for discuss nowadays because we pass this pressure that every day in your job. It's technology. It's normal. You pass this problem, and for me, I like talking with us about these topics today discuss. For me, helped me very well. I have some ideas about my job the last week, and for me, I'm learning very well, and it's a good topic for discuss in this in English, and for me, I like very well discuss about you, Christian and Brennan, and for me, it's a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Mateus. And thanks you again, guys, for being here with me. That's it for today. I just sent you the survey link. If you want to fill up, please take some time for do that. It's so useful for me for improving my performance as a host here, and as well for improving your experience in the platform in general. That's it for today. The next week we will be talking about. Let me see. I just created my question here. Okay, we will be talking about reflecting on this year's goals. This year is ending. Maybe we've set some goals the last year for this year, and so we will discover if you already achieved them or not. So that will be so interesting. Thank you so much for being here again, and I hope to see you the next one. And have a wonderful weekend. Bye bye.
Bye bye,
Bye
guys.
bye, Christian.